Section 90, Section 91, Section 92 talks about the State Assembly. Section 90 defines what the State Assembly should be, and Section 91 now talks about the required number of persons that are supposed to form a State Assembly. It says it should not be less than 24 and not more than 40. So this is the legally recognized number of a State of Assembly. But what do? Section 92 now provided how somebody can become a Speaker of the House, which says he must be elected from among themselves. I had this discussion where a barrister, a lawyer, a practicing lawyer was arguing that it was a Rivers State High Court that empowered Edisi to become a speaker, and I said no, the court have no role to play in election of a speaker. It is the constitution recommend that the people who are elected should elect one from among themselves. Then how do you remove the speaker? That's Section 92. So if you go to paragraph I think C there, it tells you how a speaker can be removed. A speaker can be removed by the 2/3 majority of the House. And some people came, by reason of defection. Defection took place on the 11th, or assumably, or I'm not saying they actually defected, but I'm just assuming, considering but not accepting what they are saying.
Allegedly took place.
The defection happened on the 11th of December 2023, right? Isn't it? But Edisi here himself made himself a speaker on the 30th of October 2023. So at that point, all of them were still in PDP. I have said this thing before. All of them were in PDP. So who made Edisi here a speaker? If all of you were in PDP, and as on the 30th, you now declare yourself a speaker, and the governor decided to recognize such an action, which is not recognized by law. He was not elected from among the members of the House. So how is he a speaker? Then you went further and say, by reason of defection which took place on the 11th of December 2023, they've lost their seat. You were relying on that section 109, subsection 1, paragraph G. And it is subsection 2 of that section 109 that gives life to the issue of whether losing of seat or you're not losing your seat. He said the speaker shall give effect after he have investigated and satisfied, and this satisfied evidence must be presented to the House, and the House is so satisfied that yes, this person has breached the provision of the Constitution. That is when the speaker will go ahead to declare the seat of the defected members vacant. AMAEWHULE Martins, with all due respect, remained the speaker as at that point he defected, assumably. He didn't declare his seat vacant. So how come he said by reason of defection he has lost his seat? Who says so? Which constitution? Under which law? Our law are not self-executory. That is why the court is there. That if you have grievance, you go to the court. It was the court that was supposed to have acted, make a position known before even saying they have lost their seat. But you said they have lost their seat, and later you went to court. I don't understand these shenanigans that they'll be thrown around. You didn't end it there. You decided to transact the business of the House with a 4-man and later 3-man. Even when the section 96 of the Nigerian Constitution is amended, stipulate the number of persons that should form a quorum. Before you transact a serious business of the House, you must form a quorum. And Rivers, they have a 32-man assembly. So if you are to form a quorum, 32-man assembly, you divide it. It should be around 20-something.
21 there.
Right? It should be around 20-something. These are the members that should sit down first to continue look at the issues. Can we continue the business of the day? You disregarded disdainfully all of these things, and you just went to your friends that these are the legitimate assembly members. You don't have the right to de-recognize or recognize elected member. You have no such right. You have no such powers. The Constitution did not empower you to do so. It is the court that was supposed to have done so. But you decided to de-recognize elected people. Members who are elected as we were elected, sworn in, inaugurated as we were inaugurated. Is that how people live under democratic setting? That is why the Supreme Court rightly said this was dictatorship and has nothing to do with democracy. And I start with Supreme Court on that statement. It has nothing to do with the democracy. So, for me, I think what Supreme Court did, although it took a longer time, was supposed to have happened before now. The impunity was so huge that democracy in Nigeria was questioned. I was so afraid that what actually preceded these people were setting for us. Are they trying to create crisis? You acted with so much impunity, with so much disrespect and disobedience, and even when the court told you that this is where you are supposed to do, you see disregard on motor shop, and later you came that what happened here, the court, in the eyes of the court, issue of defection was not taken care of, was not recognized, so that is why you are not obeying. Then you appeal the matter to an appeal court, and before the appeal, in your preliminary objection, you stated that Right Honorable Martin AMAEWHULE and others are not rightful people to make any statement or even defend anything with regard to the National Assembly. You said they have defected, they have lost their seat. By your preliminary objection and submission, you said this before the court, and the court looked at it and told you, no, defection is not a matter or something you do on page of newspaper. By the obitatum, even by River State High Court, nobody is talking about that River State High Court judgment. When he said by obitatum, if you are to seek my consent in this matter, I will tell you that defection is not a matter you do on pages of the newspaper or on media, social media. Defection has processes. And let me get this clear. Everybody that is watching, please, let's be attentive. Section 109 is the same thing as Section 68 of the 1998 Constitution. Section 68 focus on the national level, while Section 109 focuses at the state level. And if you go by the provision of that Constitution, Section 109, subsection 1, paragraph G, didn't say if you defect. Let's get this thing very clear. Didn't say if you defect, you have lost your seat. He said if you become a member of another political party outside the party by which you were elected, if you become a member, let's get that clear. Becoming a member means your name have entered the register of the party you are going to, and your name have been deleted from the party you are leaving. And you now have your name registered, and you now have their card. You now have the card of the new party as a member, recognized member. That makes you to become a member of that party. It's not that when you just defect. So the processes that these people are claiming, AMAEWHULE and all that didn't do it. I believe you go to APC Constitution register, you will find the name of AMAEWHULE there. If you go to PDP register, you will find the name of AMAEWHULE and his colleagues there, meaning they are still member. The law didn't say if you defect. If you become a member, in other words, I can go to a place right now. I'm at an ATM, right? And if I declare for an instant that I am the governor of River State, and I depose an affidavit to that effect, does that make me the governor? Because there are processes that can make me the governor, and that is through the ballot. Through the ballot. If this process is not followed, no matter my declaration, no matter all I say on social media, that does not make me the governor of River State. That is what the law is telling you. If you become a member, not if you defect. So, and we want really to appeal to the governor with all due respect, sir. I have said it, that if you weigh some level of supports that are coming your way, it is expected as a reasonable human, a man of reason, you analyze them. What is the essence of this support? Because some support are coming to bring you down. That is why I advised the governor long time ago that be wary of men of the belly, be wary of men of emotions, be wary of men of melancholy.
All right.
Because they will lead you astray. Their intent is not actually about your good, but their intent is to seek vengeance, using you as a tool to achieve their political whatever interest, using you to fight just to achieve their own. It is not about you. And the governor, play to the gallery, and here we are. Look at Supreme Court lambasting the governor, calling the governor all manner of name, dictatorship, gimmicks. Remember, the appeal did the same thing. So what is this? It shows that the law that made you the governor, you decided to disrespect the law and made yourself an overlord, overriding the provision of the Nigerian Constitution disdainfully.
All right.
And you think the Nigerian state will sit back and watch you? No.
Anyway, the River State government has responded or reacted to the Supreme Court judgment, and Joe Johnson, when he was speaking, in some of the things he said, he talked about the River State government acknowledged the Supreme Court judgment. However, said that they have not gotten the full details of the judgment. They will have to go through it and be advised on the implications of the judgment. But however, in all the things he said, it still boils down to what Nze has said earlier in his opening speech when he talked about the 27 lawmakers, Right Honorable Martin AMAEWHULE and the 26 others. And they are saying that that matter is still before a federal high court in Rivers State, and that they are waiting for the outcome of that particular matter. So now, from what the Rivers State government, the feelers from their statement, their reaction to the Supreme Court judgment, they are still taking the same stand that Nze has, in that this matter was not dealt with as per defection, right? And that the defection matter is before a federal high court. The question would be, the Supreme Court in its judgment has recognized Martin AMAEWHULE, that's number one, and has asked that Martin AMAEWHULE should resume, the Rivers State House of Assembly should resume sitting as a matter of urgency. The government, on the other hand, is still taking a stand. What do you make of this in the coming days?
You see, political philosophers, sat down and look at it, that society can only achieve peace if there is law and if there is government. The government is to pursue policy implementation and rule execution, while the law is to guide actions. And there should be a court. The court will not be the chief priest, like what we say in our community, who will interpret, analyze action of state actors and non-state actors, and see anyone that breaches the provision of the Constitution, they have the power to declare such an action null and void. You see, the judgment of the Supreme Court, let's be conscious of this, is declarative. The law as it stands recognizes Martin AMAEWHULE, for me, in my opinion, who has never ceases to be a member of the Rivers House of Assembly, who has never ceases to be the Speaker of the Rivers House of Assembly. The law and the apex court of the land, which is the conscience of the state as it stands, is telling you that these people should sit and commence their legislative businesses immediately. And if somebody is dissatisfied with such a judgment, the only thing the person can do, the best of which he can do or he should do, is to submit. Because anything you do which is against the law, the state will not sit back and watch you. The instrument of the state will come after you, because every judgment of the court is expected to be executed. So if you think that you have impunity, you have an immunity, maybe there are other people walking around you, they don't have such immunity.
All right.
The court can investigate, the people can investigate you and keep your crime somewhere. When the immunity leaves you, then the state will persecute you. That is one. Then two, I think what actually transpired yesterday is an eye-opener to every one of us who mean well for Rivers State. At a time, impunity was reigning. Then now the law has taken effect. And I am asking these people who are out there, if you think that issue of defection has not been taken care of, and by your definition of the law, you are saying by immediately you defected, you've lost your seat, whether you are a speaker, whether you whatever, you've lost your seat. And I'm there asking you, do you remember a man called Aminu Tambowa, Honorable, who was a speaker, House of Representatives in Federal Republic of Nigeria? He who defected from the party that made him the speaker to another party, did he lose his seat? Do you remember a man called what is his name? The speaker there from Bauchi. What is that his name? I will remember the name. But
is it Dogara?
Yakubu Dogara. Do you remember a man called Yakubu Dogara, who was elected under the platform of APC? became a speaker of House of Representatives under the platform of APC, but left APC for the PDP and still remained a speaker of House of Representatives, did he lose his seat automatically? Even when APC has been the government in power at the federal level, the president was a president elected on the platform of APC, and even the Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Justice, is a man from the APC. At that time, how many lawsuits did he file saying that Yakubu Dogara has lost his seat automatically? And they went down, Buhari went down to pull down the assembly complex that Dogara has defected. Do you also remember a man called Senator Bukola Saraki, who was elected under the platform of APC and was also elected as Senate President under the platform of APC, but left the APC for the PDP and still remained the Senate President under the platform of PDP? Did he lose his seat automatically? Even when APC government was in charge and is still in charge at Aso Rock, the president happens to be president elected on the platform of APC. Did the president move his artilleries, machineries to the Senate complex and pull down the Senate complex and say, Bukola Saraki, you are no longer the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria by reason of your defection? Would you see anything like that? So how come it's only in Rivers State? It's Rivers State, not a state, a unit under the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
But regardless, with all these examples you have given, what is wrong is wrong. What is unconstitutional is unconstitutional. The law says that. But you could say we are insulated from these actions because they are speakers and are insulated from, they actually cannot declare their own seats vacant. So, because the law has provided that they will be the one to declare that. So
that is what I'm telling you now. What is wrong is not wrong.
You also make it right.
They moved. Cross-carpeting is not an abomination by reason of our law.
Cross-carpeting under legislation. When you are a legislator, the law says, let's not even go there.
That's what?
When you are a legislator, the law says that when you cross-carpet to another party before the expiration of your tenure, then there is a proviso. Provided there is no leadership crisis in your political party, you lose your seat. No, your seat should be declared vacant.
The law didn't say when you get this correct.
Hold on.
The law didn't say when you cross-carpet.
Hold on. When you cross-carpet. Let me read the Constitution. Let me read the Constitution. Being a person, and let me hold on. Being a person whose election to the House of Assembly, but this one is state, by the way. Being a person whose election to the House of Assembly was sponsored by a political party, he becomes a member of another political party before the expiration of the period for which that house was elected, provided that his membership of the latter party is not as a result of a division in the political party of which he was previously a member of, or a merger of two or more political parties or factions by one of the party of which he was previously sponsored. Now, the thing is this: there are provisions. You have laid your examples with regards to executive rascality and the fact that this happened at the National Assembly and the executive did not take laws into their hands. I understand where you're coming from. However, it is also very important to note, because when I was talking to Nze, I told Nze, and I spoke in Igbo, Aroba for women. When an abomination stays for long, it becomes a tradition. It is time that in this country we call black and call white white.
What I'm doing now,
what I am saying, I understand the president of
black,
but you are saying that it is not, cross-carpeting is not an abomination.
No, what I mean, cross-carpeting.
However, when you are a senator or an assembly member or a House of Rep member, a state House of Assembly member, there is a constitution that you must remain loyal to the party that you are elected.
I still maintain my word.
So it is time that we start telling politicians to maintain integrity.
Integrity. Now let's come. Maybe you did that. You misconstrue my point.
I did not misconstrue your point. Your examples were to cite that these things had happened at the national and there was no executive rascality.
No, now this is what I'm saying.
What are you saying exactly?
I say cross-carpeting within the Nigeria political sphere is not an abomination. You can join freedom of association. You can do so. That is why you say work cross carpeting.
Is there
but when it comes to the national elected members,
you didn't put in that caveat.
That is why I say I use the word generally. But when it comes to elected members, that is why we now look at the law. And even if you cross carpet, that does not make you to lose your seat automatically, because it is the Senate President or the Speaker House of Rep of Assembly that will give effect to that section 109 subsection 1 paragraph G.
Yep.
In the case where the Speaker, the Senate President, did not give effect to it, it remains like that. So we cannot tell politicians that for us to impute or to inculcate morality, integrity to our political scene, we should maintain some level of integrity by staying put with our parties and following what the law recommends. This is what I'm saying. So rascality and impunity is when somebody now assume the position of the law and the court, and began to dish out what the court ought to have done, usurping the powers of the court.
All right, very well. Nze, you want to respond to Amy's statement?
You know, one thing first, we must bear in mind, this society belongs to us, and we must set records straight. If truly everybody's interest is the general well-being of the populace of Rivers State, that's where you begin to see that some of our insertions, or if I may say assertions, and the view over all this brouhaha will be affected. Because if my response to what is happening in River State is born out of my interest for a sane society, if this is truly what I want, I should be speaking from my angle. Like, look at the judgment of Supreme Court. I told you that the court has spoken. Yeah. And there is nothing we can go and do about it. Court has spoken. If all of us collectively come to say we will establish a magistrate court, we will establish a high court, we will establish an appeal court, we will establish a Supreme Court, this is a product of we. These institutions did not create themselves. We created them. And we said that they will guide us like this and they will guide us like this. We came together to say this rule, without looking at anybody's face. That is why you see that law will always have its eye blinded. This rule will guide us. This rule will guide us, just as Amy said, that the Constitution is there to guide our actions. And these things are set clear before us. Coming from the angle that we are looking at now, Supreme Court has given judgment on the case that was brought to it. Because just as we know, I'm not a lawyer, but we know that the court will not respond to any prayer you didn't present to it.
What was the prayer that was presented?
No, I'm coming. Looking at what Supreme Court is handling, they have declared their own judgment on it. And the River State government have come to say, we acknowledge the judgment of the court. We will study the CTC of the judgment, and we will look at the implications and respond adequately. That is okay. But look at where I'm looking at from my viewpoint, that it is happening in River State today, and the Supreme Court has come to give this judgment. I am a Nigerian, a true certified Nigerian, and I have lived my life as a Nigerian, and I will defend the interest of Nigeria and the well-being of Nigeria. If by tomorrow another thing happens, either in Lagos State, either in Kaduna State, either in Oyo State, what Supreme Court, the precedents they have set now, should be upheld.